Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a really chill Saturday. I'm going to make some dinner and then I'm actually going to do some painting. So I won't be doing a cooking demonstration, but I'll show you all what I'm going to make and then we'll get into our painting. So I've decided to do kind of a harvest theme painting today. And we'll just spend some time chilling and talking. So let's get into it. So I want to do a southern style meal. So this cheesy mac I really enjoy. I usually put broccoli in it, but I don't have broccoli this time. I also add onion. I'm going to do that. First time having this chorizo. I get chorizo, the vegan chorizo, all the time at Blaze on my pizza. Decided to get some rice. That's a very southern thing. And last but not least, I'm going to have some collard greens. Hopefully I will not get my southern card revoked because I am eating frozen ones, but we cannot get fresh ones rarely in Iowa. And of course, hopefully I'll get my southern card back. At least my North Carolina card back because it will be have some hot sauce, some Texas Pete on it. Forgot to tell you I'm making pinto beans as well. So for my collards, I add water. I'm going to add some more. Now I always add vegetable. This is all I have for my trip. My recent road trip. I'll link the video for you all. If you haven't watched that, make sure you check it out. This is from that. I haven't done much grocery shopping in the last week. Now I'm cooking, I'm sauteing some onions. I only saute them a couple minutes and then I'm going to throw my pinto beans in there. It's a little dark in my apartment, so we're going to light things up. Say hello to my plants. So these are where I keep my art supplies, down here. I just got this new brush, so I do want to use this. So like a fan brush. I was using this jar so much, I decided just to keep it in here. Paper towels. Some watercolor sheets my friend April got me. I have this. We're going to work with acrylic, but I also have watercolors. I got this because I wanted to start watercoloring. I didn't want to spend a lot of money, so these have really been helpful. I'll show you some of the things that I've done with these Crayola watercolors. So I just have some watercolors. I just got these from Walmart to start with. I'm still working on these little ones. And also my little marker, my paint brushes. And I had about 8 of these small ones that I had made. And I'll show you all pictures of things I've done. But I have a larger canvas that I'm going to use tonight. These are some of the smaller canvases I've done. I wanted blue and silver, so I made, and I like water, so I made this very amateur, but I enjoyed it. This, it was my word for last year, I think it was. I can't even remember. I don't necessarily, I'm not thrilled about how it turned out, but I did keep it. Seek is what it says. And then I made that one with joy on it. I have them lined up here. Also pulled out this one. I love the purple and I had bought the silver. And I couldn't bring myself to paint anything over it, so I just kept it as a purple. It has a red border. I just kept it as a purple painting. Again, these are all ones I got from either Walmart or Joann's. I can't remember exactly. But it's a startup kit for me. I'm an amateur painter. I wanted some paint. And so I got some cheap paint and I can practice with this. If I decide to get more expensive paint, I can do that. But for now, this is a great way to start. These are my seasonings. I ran out of garlic salt, so I'm pretty sad about that. But I added this, hopefully to give more flavor. So this brand of cheesy mac, you have to put in a frying pan, as you see here. Can't say I've ever cooked mac and cheese in a frying pan. And then you just mix it together. I always have to doctor it up, aka add seasoning to it. And I just added the same seasoning I showed you all for the other food. And all my other things are going. And you may be asking yourself, is Christy's stove this clean all the time? And the answer to that is no. Like most of you, when people come over, I clean. So you all were coming over tonight, so I did a little bit of cleaning. So next time you see this, it'll all be plated up. Just wanted to show you this mac and cheese. I love this brand. It's the only processed stuff I really get now when it comes to vegan. I've had their barbecue jackfruit. I'm going to try the seitan. I'm assuming I'm saying that right. And this cheesy mac. And again, I usually add broccoli to this, and it's really tasty. I just added onion and seasoned tonight. Like I said, Texas Pete. Collards. I love using this little glass bowl. My grandmother gave me that. Again, she passed away. 7 years will be in January. Just plain rice. Added some vegan butter to it. I had a question for you also. When I make Southern food, it always makes me think of my mom. I only started eating pinto beans the last like year and a half, 2 years. She really likes them, so it makes me think about her as well. But I am a 1 spoon person. I actually used 2 because with the liquids, I wanted a spoon with holes in it. Y'all let me know in the comments if you're a 1 spoon person. She gets so upset at me when I'm home because I use 1 spoon to scoop out everything if she's cooking. And she always gets on me. So you all tell me if you're a 1 spoon person or everything has its own spoon. So this is my dinner. I'm looking forward to enjoying it. And I will see you all once we start painting over there. I hope y'all are enjoying me painting so far. I was watching a movie earlier, so, you know, copyright. I didn't want to mess up the video. But I wanted to do a two-tone. As you can see, I have some grass and some blue. And I'll probably blend those a little bit more. This is actually a blender brush. I think I said the wrong thing earlier. So it's a blender brush. I have my water over here. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I put dishwasher liquid in it and I don't remember. But anyway, there's some suds in there, but it's getting clean, I guess. So I'm going to use, for my tree, you can see I have, actually you cannot see. Let me show you. I have my computer right there. So I'm actually just going to use that to try and look at the tree, just to visualize it. So I like to be able to see that as I'm drawing here. So I decided I'm going to do a tree. So I just kind of I still use the same middle because I'm like, if the colors all mix, if there's a little bit of green in the trunk, then that'll be fine. That will be okay. When it comes to trees, I just keep it simple. I think about when I was in kindergarten and we had to draw trees. I just draw that huge trunk. The key is, cleaning it up after so you don't have like straight lines. Just so it looks more realistic. That's what and that could be just dabbing. I don't think you all can see that because of how my hand is. I am not a lefty, but I will try, just cleaning up that line so that it's not the straight line. Because we all know trees are not straight edged like that. I mixed the dark and the lighter brown to try to get this color. I could probably add some of this, maybe this rustic, oh, maybe that's red. It's this one. This kind of orangey. Let's see. What do they call that? Oh, that's the scarlet one. Vermilla? Okay. I thought it was like rustic or something. So I had this hobby before quarantine started. This is actually, I did a paint and sip. I had been wanting to do that for a while. And I did one right before the pandemic hit. Like literally like a week or two before everything went on lockdown. And I'll show you all that in a minute. But I haven't really painted. I've done some watercolor. I did paint with my friend Donna. We did our own kind of paint and sip, social distance style. The sunset I showed you, I'll show you again in just a moment. We did that. I got us coffee and then we just met and sat at a picnic table. So that was nice. So this is like the second thing I've painted. But let me know if you all like painting in the comments, or what other hobbies you have, or if you've picked up hobbies since quarantine started, or if you're having more time for your hobbies that you enjoy. Let me know down in the comments. So my paint, you saw me put it all out at the same time. It started drying. I usually don't put it out like that. I usually just put it out as I am using it. So I would recommend just not putting everything out at the same time. Put it out as you're going to use it because it gets dried out. I was just excited to film for you all. I think that's what it was. Okay, you can see I started on my limbs. So what I will say, if you're going to do a tree, I've kind of learned this. You kind of go, it's kind of like if you're sanding something, you go with the grain. So it's the same. I'm going to try to show you with my left hand so that you can see it. So when you're making your stems, kind of go with the grain of the tree and then kind of come from there, because it looks more natural. like it's growing from the tree. Because what I used to do, and I'll show you, and then I'll kind of fix it, is I would just do, actually that one looks okay, but I would do more kind of straight from the branch, or from the trunk. So if you just go with the green, and then you do clean it up. I always clean up my, because like this, where you can see the blue through there, I don't really like that. So I always go through and clean that up. And then to make your limbs, you're just really, because the leaves is what's going to give it the tree-like feel. Your leaves are going to, are going to scatter all about and fill up all of this. So you won't be able to necessarily see all of this, but these limbs help you kind of guide you to where you need to where you put your leaves at. Got a little more headway. And I was just going to say, brushes make a difference. This is the brush, if you can see. That's the one I was doing the limbs with. Now, the one I'm going to do... Oh, wrong way. The one I'm going to do my leaves with are a little bit... It's a smaller, as you can tell. That just, for me, it gives you more control. I'm mixing this kind of rustic... Yeah, it's like a rustic and a yellow. Can you all see that? My little leaf. Okay, I'm at work to show you how I make my leaves. I've zoomed in a little bit. So I essentially, I mean, it looks like a leaf to me, but I don't really know what that shape is. So essentially, let me see if I can try to make it on here so you can see. So I go around and then around on this side. So you see that's how I make a leaf. Two kind of half moons, I guess you'd call it. And you will notice I did get a bigger, so when I'm doing watercolor, I do like to use a smaller, I actually use these for watercolors too, which I think they're made for that. Let me see on my, yeah. Trying to get to the camera. So acrylics and watercolors. I use these for both these. So I do use the smaller because my watercolor sheet is smaller. So it helps to have a smaller brush to do the leaves because you do so many. And I'll show you all one that I have made. And again, it's one I showed you in the journaling episode. When I showed you how I draw in my journal as well. It's not just journaling. So as I'm making this, I'm realizing that if you want to start on a painting and start with a tree, a fall tree would be good because you don't have to paint every lump. I mean, you don't have to fill it up because, we know that with fall, some of the photos I saw had like the leaves on the ground, so I thought that was kind of cute. With fall, the tree's not going to be all the way filled, so you wouldn't have to fill up the whole tree. So this would actually be a good kind of starter painting. Now again, my colors have been, because I was so excited and put them all out at the same time, so I've been putting some water in them. If you're more advanced in painting than I am, let me know if water and acrylic is a good idea. I've been using it just to make it more runny, but you all let me know if I shouldn't be doing that for my next painting. You all can see I made this really peachy color right here. That's the bright yellow, this one. And I mixed some of the scarlet color and some of the Vermilla. Vermilion. And I'm really digging this color. It looks more peachy, but it's working for me. And I really have to fight not to be symmetrical when it comes to this. I'm a very symmetrical person when it comes to, you know, kind of decorations and paint and things like that. But I have to remember that trees are not symmetrical. And what I mean by that is I may, like for example, if I put a leaf like right here, like my mind automatically says, oh, I want one on this other side so that they're symmetrical. But trees, we know trees aren't like that. So I have to really, even like these leaves I'm putting down here, I want to make sure that I'm not putting them like in the same spot over here. Because, you know, if leaves are dropping, they're not dropping symmetrically. Is that the word, symmetrically? And what I'm finding with this, I didn't really know this was a tip. I didn't realize this before, but what I'm finding that I like to do is on the end of every branch, I'd like to put a leaf. For me, that just ends that tree limb well, is to have one on the end. So, and I noticed I did that in my other pictures where I've done trees too. Before I show you the finished product, I was going to show you, I did this at a sip and paint, again, right before the pandemic. So I went, been one of my bucket goals. And then this is the one I did with my friend. We just sat outside and drank coffee and painted. This is one of my watercolors. I said I would show you all. And this is one of my all-time favorites. This is another tree acrylic. But you see how small these leaves are? That's why I was saying you could use the smaller brush. But I didn't want to do those small ones on that larger picture because I would have been there all day. And lastly, this is from a trip to North Carolina I took in May. And this was one of the scenes I saw there. I stayed close by the water and I painted a scene one day. Here's the finished product. You kind of see the details. I wanted some more yellow on there. So I mixed. I didn't want to go straight. I think it's important to remember not to go like the straight color that comes out the bottle. Just adding a little more color adds more texture to it. I hope you all have enjoyed seeing me paint. And I hope you will subscribe, like, comment. Love to hear what you all are doing now that you're in quarantine. There is still a global pandemic going on, so would love to hear what you're doing to pass the time. And if you enjoy painting, if you enjoy watercolors or acrylics.